हिरण्यकशिपुर्वक्षः 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 शिलाटां कनकालये शिलाटां कनकालये पीतो नरसिंह परतो नरसिंह यतो यतो यामि ततो नरसिंह बहे नरसिंह हृदयेर नरसिंह बहे नरसिंह हृदये नरसिंह नरसिंह मदीं शरणं प्रपदे नमस्ते नरसिंहाय तव कर कमलवरे नखम् अद्भुत श्रीम्भाम् दलिता हिरण्यकशिपु तनुभृङ्गा केशवधृता नरहरि रूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे Same. Jaya Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय नर हरे जय नर हरे नर हरे जय नर हरे जय भक्त प्रहलाद जय भक्त प्रहलाद जय भक्त प्रहलाद विघ्न विनाशक लक्ष्मी नरसिंह देव भगवान के भक्तराज प्रहलाद महाराज के
हरे कृष्णा। अभी भगवत गीता पे प्रवचन होगा अंग्रेजी में कृपया करके शांति से बैठे रहिए जिन्हें उन्हें भगवद गीता पे प्रवचन सुनना है।
आ गए प्रभु जी आ गए, अरे बोल आ गए। जयो राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जयो राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदनंदन भज जनरंजना। यशोदानंदन भज जनरंजना। यमुना तीरावनचारी। यमुना तीरावनचारी। जयो राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जयो राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य श्रीमद अभय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत गोस्वामी श्री प्रभुपाद की, श्रीमद् भगवद गीता की, सवेद गौर भक्त वृंद की, हिताय गौर प्रेमानंदे, all Gurus assembled devotees, all Gurus assembled devotees, all Gurus assembled devotees, all Gurus, all Gurus, all Gurus, Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We are taking Srimad Bhagavad Gita's second chapter, verse number 59 today. If any of you have in your mobiles, please or else just repeat after me. Vishaya vinivartante, Vishaya vinivartante, Niraharasya dehina, Niraharasya dehina, Rasovarjam rasopyasya, Rasovarjam rasopyasya, Param drishtva nivartate, Param drishtva nivartate, Vishaya vinivartante, Niraharasya dehina, Rasovarjam rasopyasya, Param drishtva nivartate, Vishaya vinivartante, Niraharasya dehina, Rasavarjam rasopyasya, Param drishtva nivartate. Vishaya, objects for sense enjoyment, vinivartante, are practiced to be refrained from. Niraharasya, by negative restrictions. Dehina, for the embodied. Rasa varjam, giving up the taste. Rasaha, sense of enjoyment. Api, although there is. Asya, his. Param, far superior things. Drishtva, by experiencing. Nivartate, he ceases from. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Though the embodied soul may be restricted from sense enjoyment, the taste for sense objects remains. But ceasing such engagements by experiencing a higher taste is fixed in consciousness. Purport: unless one is transcendently situated, it is not possible to cease from sense enjoyment. The process of restriction from sense enjoyment by rules and regulations is something like restricting a diseased person from certain types of eatables. The patient, however, neither likes such restrictions nor loses his taste for eatables. Similarly, sense restriction by some spiritual process like Ashtanga Yoga in the matter of yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, etc., is recommended for less intelligent persons who have no better knowledge. But one who has tasted the beauty of the Supreme Lord Krishna in the course of his advancement in Krishna consciousness, no longer has a taste for dead material things. Therefore, restrictions are there for the less intelligent neophytes in the spiritual advancement of life. But such restrictions are only good until one actually has a taste for Krishna consciousness. When one is actually Krishna conscious, he automatically loses his taste for pale things. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनाशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम् वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुः श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजाता सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासरि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. Welcome to devotees on the Sunday evening for the Srimad Bhagavad Gita class that we do every week. And today we are discussing verse number 59 of the second chapter. A very important verse, an amazing verse, what Krishna is answering to Arjuna's question that you are speaking of a self-realized person, a person who is situated on the platform of spirituality, on transcendence, but how do I recognize him? Especially today, there are so many people who claim to be very elevated, very advanced spiritually. And people fall for different gimmicks, different, the words that they use or the appearance that they have. And anyone that becomes, popular on social media, or anyone that can gather hundreds and thousands of people, seem to be appear to be a elevated person. Today is the day of Guru Purnima. It is a day when Vyasadev, we honor the appearance of Vyasadev, and in his honor, like this particular asana is called as Vyasasana, because the Vedas were originally given by Srila Vyasadev, and the speaker that is speaking is serving the verses that Vyasadev is speaking, is glorifying and explaining the verses that Srila Vyasadeva has written in glorification of the Supreme Lord and explanation of the path of bhakti. So so in in his honor, today on his appearance day, we celebrate as Guru Purnima. And there may be many that seem to be claiming to be, no, I have knowledge. Like one of our very famous, one of our senior devotees, Radha Gopinath Prabhu, he says that if you go and ask anyone on the street in India today, can you tell me something about mitochondria or esophagus or say uh, protons? That person, unless he is from that field, no, he'll honestly admit that I don't know much about this subject. But anyone, if in India you go and ask, tell me about God, they'll give you 2 hours lecture on what they think is Bhagavad Gita, what they think is God. Because everyone thinks, seems to be having a claim on what Krishna is speaking here. So therefore, till verse number 54, 53, Krishna speaks lot of spiritual, no, concepts. Sometimes, no, apparently theoretical. So Arjuna, being a very practical person, being someone who is a warrior, who needs to bring pa- some kind of principles into policies, he is asking. Krishna is speaking all these high elevated principles, but how do I recognize a person who is no living by these principles? So therefore he asks that please explain me Sita Pragyasya ka bhasha, that how does a person who is situated in transcendence, in spiritual, in an elevated position, how does he speak? What is his no speech? Does he speak only Sanskrit? Does he speak uh, say all types of languages, or does he speak? How does he speak? Does he speak sweetly? Does he speak strongly? That's not the what Arjuna is asking. What kind of language does he speak? But for what does he voice out? For what are the things that he no is interested? We only speak about things that which we are interested about, or which we have some kind of understanding. So what is it that a transcendental person speaks? And kim asita vrajeta kim. And where does he sit? Does he sit in the Himalayas in a cave? Does he sit on a golden throne? Where does he sit? Now this is also not a no a superficial question. What is his platform? What is he fixed upon? What is the basis of his consciousness? And vrajeta kim. How does he walk? Does he walk fast, slow? Does he run? What is his gait? No. For what are those things? No, we usually walk either towards something or away from something. So what are those things towards which he walks, towards which he approaches, and what are those things which he walks away from? Many times we all uh, walk into our own destruction because of the conditionings that we have, just like a fly. When a fly sees a fire, it just walks into its own destruction. So many of us, being tempted, being conditioned, we walk into our own uh, devolution into our own destruction. So, an elevated person, a a Krishna conscious person, how does he speak? How does he sit? How does he walk? So, these three questions, his speech, his posture, and his gait. So, these are the three things that uh, is being asked. And Lord Krishna, in a series of verses, he explains from verse number 54, 55, he is speaking about how do we recognize a person from his behavior, from his talk. So in the previous verse 58, Krishna gives that a Krishna conscious person, a self-realized person, he acts like a tortoise, kachua, turtle. Now, many temples in India, if you go, outside the temple, you'll see there is a tortoise. And people go and speak their desires, thinking that the tortoise will go and convey. The tortoise is there because of this particular verse, which is Yada samharate chayam kurmo angani sarvasha indriyanendriyardebhyas tasya pragya pratishtita. How many of you seen a tortoise? How many of you touched a tortoise? Now, tortoise, it usually is a uh, unique animal, unique species in which the skeleton is outside of its body. Our skeleton is inside, but a tortoise skeleton is outside, and inside is the actual body. And it has a unique ability to close itself. As soon as there is a danger, as soon as it sees that kids are coming to play with it, the tortoise immediately withdraws its head, its legs, its hands into in itself. And once it withdraws, no, you can't do anything. Even if you throw it from the top of a mountain, God has made coconut shells and tortoise shells such a way that they don't break. Even if elephant stomps on a tortoise, nothing happens. Such is the strength of the uh, shell of the tortoise. Don't try it. Don't try it on a tortoise unnecessarily. Try to harm it. So, Krishna gives his example that as soon as a self-realized person senses that there is a danger to corrupt his consciousness, immediately he activates the shield and he becomes aloof from that particular uh, vibration, that particular contamination, by cutting himself off from that connection. In Gandhi had these three monkeys. Close your eyes, ears, close your eyes, ears, and close your mouth. Right? Bura mat suno, bura mat bolo, or bura mat dekho. So as soon as you see that there is a vision, there is some kind of objects, some things that may agitate you, that may disturb you, then do not fall prey to that. Close your eyes, become like a tortoise. As soon as you start to hear some kind of news or songs that may corrupt your consciousness, immediately close your ears. As soon as you are tempted, agitated to speak something rubbish, something that is not necessary, just because of the in the moment, in the heat of the moment, you blurt something out, and then you lament for the next 1 week or 10 days or sometimes for years together. Why did I say that? So close your mouth. And now there is a fourth monkey that does all these three, that is someone who is in a mobile. That is, even if a thief comes, he can't see. If the mother is shouting, he can't hear. And even if somebody is speaking, he can't speak back because he is lost in his gadgets. All senses are absorbed there. But that's not what Krishna is speaking, that become absorbed into. Go inwards. Go inwards to restrain yourself from all these external contamination, temptations. But who can understand us better than our Creator? Who can understand the psychology, the limitations of human beings, of living entities, better than Shishi Radha Gopinath? So therefore, in the next verse, in the 59th verse, Krishna says, but that withdrawal that you do to protect yourself from the situation is not a complete foolproof solution. Because for how long you will withdraw? People do different types of fasting. In devotions, in Vaishnava circles, we do the Ekadashi fast. And recently there was Ekadashi called as Nirjal Ekadashi. On Nirjal Ekadashi, you even restrain from water. And one day you restrain from water, and any kind of nothing goes in except air. But the next day you go into the Paisa Vasul mode. Shri Radha Gopinath Bhagavan ki. So the darshan will again open at 8:50 with Shayan for Shayan Kirtan. So for how long? So one day you fast, but the next day you tend to recover all that is lost in one day of fasting. One devotee used to make night before only mango milkshake and keep it in the fridge. So the next day morning, as soon as the fasting time is over, he can sip that cool, refreshing mango milkshake. And many a times, fasting doesn't make you sick, but feasting makes you sick, because the digestive system was shut down for a while, and suddenly you put it on a hyper mode, and then there is trouble in the digestive system. So yes, we fast, but the desire to eat has not gone away. And because the desire to eat has not gone away, whatever we restrain from, that comes back with double force when you let it loose. Even sometimes people are quite silent. They are silent not because they don't want, but they are just restraining. मैं अपने आप को रोकता हूँ. And those who are silent, when they speak, are double deadly than those who speak daily. Because when whatever you restrain, it comes back with double the force. Recently, I had visited Hyderabad. So there is Yaravada jail there, and just outside of the jail there is a liquor bar, because till now they were in behind these prison bars, and they were artificially restrained. They were not given. So as soon as they come out of prison bar, they enter into liquor bar. Because the desire is so strong that bar, they go to bar and then they become barbat. So yes, withdrawal is important, but more important than withdrawal is the desire to withdraw. And Prabhupada speaks here, just because somebody is restraining, because he is in a position that he cannot enjoy, like a sick person. Prabhupada mentions here that just like a sick person, sometimes he is told, your uric acid is very high, you should not eat anything, no, that has high uric levels, no pizza, no nothing. And he does regular tests, he is restraining because he does. And the day he sees his uric acid levels are normal or below normal, then he again, no, if the desire has not gone away, again he indulges into it. So therefore, Lord Krishna is speaking in this verse that how how do you handle the desire to enjoy, desire for the wrong things that we again are going for. Saying no is not a complete solution. Therefore, he is saying, say yes to the right things, to the higher things. And only when we absorb ourselves into higher tastes, then does the lower taste, lower temptations become easy to handle. If a child is being told, don't go outside, don't go outside. Of course, now the childs have to be told, go outside because they are so much lost in their mobiles. But if the child is being told, don't go outside, yeah, because there is danger, you have to study. But if he is given a positive engagement, if he is given something positive, saying yes will automatically include saying no. And therefore, Lord Krishna here is saying that Vishaya Vinivartante. Yes, there are four things when it comes to enjoying something. First is the object of enjoyment. That there is a object which you want to enjoy. Second is the opportunity to enjoy. That yes, you know like to have ice cream, but you don't have an opportunity. Nobody has given you to eat, or you don't have the money to go and eat, or you don't have the time to go and eat. So first is the object of enjoyment. Next is the opportunity to enjoy. Third is the capability to enjoy. That do you have the capability to handle it? Because a sick person, why does he not get into say if he has a high uric acid or high cholesterol, he restrains from this because he doesn't have the capacity to enjoy. There's a man who came to Bombay long back, and he used to work at a vada pav stall, and he used to feel so hungry as he was working for this vada pav, that before the pav used to go to the vada used to go to the stall to be sold, right when it came out of the oil pan, he used to pop it into his mouth so that the owner doesn't see. His mouth used to burn, but he was hungry. He liked pav so much. Now I don't need to ask, half of the Bombay lives on vada pav. So his goal was that I'll work in such a way that there will be a day where I can peacefully enjoy vada pav. He worked hard, he slowly opened many franchises, but in that meantime, he lost his health to such an extent that the doctor said, no oil foods you should eat. If you eat any oil food, then there is danger. Your cholesterol levels are so high. So now the object vada pav was there in front of them. He had the money, he had the time, but he didn't have the capacity to enjoy. And the fourth is the desire to enjoy. So when somebody is sick, he loses the capacity. When somebody is poor, he loses opportunity. When somebody is, say, goes some other place where that particular object is not there, then he loses the object only to enjoy, to be with. But the most difficult, which is internal, is the desire to enjoy. And it is very cruel to say that you should not enjoy. Because enjoyment, happiness, is one of the constitutional elements of our existence. Satchit and Ananda. And to say you should not enjoy is violence. And therefore the mind rebels. It's a temporary state when a person is sick, that don't enjoy this particular thing because it's going to make you more sick, more troubled. Somebody is having diarrhea. He wants to eat, but if he eats, then he'll have to again go into the washroom. I say that you eat pani puri and next day puri pani ho jati hai. You pass on. So how do you restrain from the wrong things? Is by absorbing ourselves in the right things. So therefore sense restraint is good for the short term. When you are in a situation where you are suddenly in office, in workplace, or say a party, you will be tempted when you see that black forest cake. Then don't go to that counter. Don't go to that counter where, say, if you are South Indian, don't go to the counter where they are serving doshas if there is some allergy, some difficulty. But that's not the long-term solution. Long-term solution is higher sense engagement, where we absorb ourselves in Krishna consciousness. And the temple is a place where devotees connect to higher tastes. By serving Shri Radha Gopinath, in engaging in so many different services here, all their desires for enjoying outside or other things, like whoever had today's afternoon's feast, all your desire to have pasta anywhere else will go away by tasting the pasta that was offered to the Lord here. By singing and dancing in the kirtan here, all your desire to go and dance in a bar will go away. Just try it out. Just there is devotees start to dance early in the morning from here at 5 o'clock. Once there was a devotee who was a sadhu was visiting Ujjain, or one of our temples, and he saw devotees how they are engaged from morning to evening, and he said that you devotees of ISKCON, we are all, I should say that आपका जो संस्था का नाम है ना, ISKCON नहीं रखना चाहिए, मुस्कान रखना चाहिए. कि सुबह से शाम तक, from morning to evening, you are just partying, singing, dancing, feasting, doing some service. But even if you are distributing books or cooking, There's so much joy. Yeah. Like today, if you saw wherever, whatever service devotees were doing, somebody was collecting plates or somebody is collecting shoes. Everyone is so eager, so happy to do that service. There is no moroseness. In the world outside, no, karna padta hai. We have to do. But at the temple, because it's a higher taste, we want to do. Sometimes you don't get, like today in the video, when Mataji was saying, I want to do this service of collecting plates, but there is so much demand that I have to put in a waiting list. I'm in a waiting list and I'll get confirmed in 1 or 2 weeks for the service. Nobody is, Srila Prabhupada is to say, in ISKCON, nobody is getting paid. Most devotees, except few employees, few staff, most devotees are not paid. But they are so enthusiastic because they are getting a higher taste in giving enjoyment to Krishna. So the way devotees enjoy is by giving pleasure to Krishna. And when you give pleasure to Krishna, that reflects into your soul as happiness. But selfish enjoyment, only thinking about oneself, will not give as much pleasure. And devotee nicely says that if you like to eat kala jamun, you get happiness in eating kala jamun. Yes, it's nice. But how many can you eat? One kala jamun you can relish nicely. Second one, okay. One of our devotees in his village in Bengal used to have a competition. How many rasgullas he can eat? And he was telling me that once he won the game by eating 60 rasgullas. But was he enjoying after the 10th or the 12th? No, he must be squeezing the whole rasgulla and then trying to have. So if you get pleasure by trying to grab, that's a limited pleasure. But if you find pleasure in giving with your hand, how many gulab kala jamuns can you serve? Is there any limit? Much bigger than how many you can put into your system. Today devotees served 4,000 people. Of course they must have, but at least each devotee might have given to 2,000 devotees rice, dal, and pasta and kala jamun. And if you find joy in higher taste in serving Krishna, in serving the devotees, that has a much more scope of pleasure than selfish pleasure. And once you find this pleasure, say in singing and dancing, in serving, in chanting, then all the other things that the world offers outside, you naturally become a tortoise because you are finding अंदर जा रहे हैं बट अंदर क्या है लोगों को लगता है मंदिर के अंदर क्या है कि रोज वही मंदिर में जा रहे हैं वन ऑफ आवर डिवोटीज वाज नॉट टोल्ड लॉन्ग बैक कि कोई भी जो है मराठा मंदिर रोज थोड़ी जाता है इट्स अ मूवी थिएटर बट व्हाट इज देयर इन राधा गोपीनाथ मंदिर दैट यू गो अगेन एंड अगेन आके तो देखो when you come and see and when you experience the joy, then you think this is what I want. Therefore, Prabhupada always said, chant Hare Krishna and be happy. And when people see that you are happy, then they want that happiness. And that's how so many people, when they come here, when they see the happiness of chanting, dancing, serving, then naturally they naturally start to give up all the lower tastes that may be there. Sometimes you don't even know when you have given up those bad habits. In Bombay local trains, sometimes there is this Alcoholic Anonymous ka advertisement. It's an Hindi advertisement that tells शराबी को शराब छुटाओ बिना बताए. Make a alcoholic give up alcohol even without telling him to give up alcohol. That's what is bhakti. You don't have to tell that give this lower taste. But when param drishtva, when one sees, no claps, huh? It's just disturbing the thoughts. You clap after in the kirtan. Param drishtva, when one sees a higher taste, experiences a higher taste, then he naturally is drawn into that. And when Srila Prabhupada went to United States in an old age of 70, all the Americans there, now seeing Srila Prabhupada, how he was absorbed, not in, experiencing material pleasures, but in experiencing spiritual happiness of chanting, serving, and that seeing Srila Prabhupada inspired so many of these Westerners who were into so many bad habits, naturally give them up. There used to be a donut shop very close to 26 Second Avenue. And no, Prabhupada used to, sometimes when he used to pass by, these devotees used to have those donuts. And they used to hide in that donut shop. And when Prabhupada used to say that one should do not do, there are 4 regulative principles. They used to see donuts are also part of them. Yes, if it has any kind of meat or things that are should be avoided, or if they are not offered to Krishna, that yes, even donuts. And in our ISKCON Juhu, they also sell donuts now. So when they saw Prabhupada experiencing and feeding them wonderful feast, Sunday love feast, then naturally their desire to eat anywhere outside went away. And seeing Prabhupada's absorption in chanting, they also started to take to the process. So therefore we need a teacher, we need a devotee who is absorbed in Krishna consciousness for us to become inspired to want that. Because we are all human beings and we believe in what we see. Seeing is believing. So unless we see a person who is absorbed, who is like long back, I remember I had gone to Jagannath Puri Rath Yatra first time, I think in 2000. And that was the first time I ever wear dhoti. And I went to see Jagannath. I was so conscious of my dhoti only, whether it will fall away or not. And because it was Netrotsav day, Jagannath ji was in the main altar, and in front of him it was all like kind of soil. It was all क्या बोलते कीचड़ जैसा था. It was muddy. So usual practice is when you come to the temple, you offer obeisances to the Lord. And there I was thinking, Jagannath is in front of me, but my dhoti, first time I worn dhoti, how do I put? Then I saw one of my fellow IIT devotees who had took me. He offered, he didn't see whether there was kichad or not. He saw Jagannath and he just offered obeisances in the kichad. And when he got up, he didn't mind. कीचड़ लगा तो लगा, भगवान के सामने दंडवत करना चाहिए. Then I got inspiration, okay, let me at least do knee obeisances, something. So unless you see a devotee who is absorbed in Krishna consciousness, who is experiencing pleasure, who is not into all this materialistic considerations or pleasures, that is when you get the desire, and slowly you are able to. But this stage where we are still not lost the taste for sense gratification, and we still not acquired the taste for bhakti, जो बीच का जो समय है ना, many philosophers call it the dark night of the soul. अभी वहां पहुंचे नहीं है और ये छोड़ने का भी इच्छा गई नहीं है. And it is that time we need to practice this restraint and slowly, no, work on going ahead. Just like when you trek, that you are very comfortable at the base camp. And you know the trek is say 1,000 feet high. If you are too attached to the base camp, you will never reach the top. And as you go, initially there may be some enthusiasm. But as you go midway, there is so many risks, difficulties. You start to think, मैं पहुंच पाऊंगा क्या? The better I was there, no? अभी तो I may even die. But then when you see another person going by, no older than you or more inspired than you, seeing him you get the strength. He is inspired, he is no walking and he pushes you. Let's do it. And slowly, bit by bit, Krishna in the series of verses, he says this, that raga dveshu mikteshu vishyan indriyescharan atmavasher videhatma. Atmavasha. According to your capacity, जितने आपके वश में है, उस हिसाब से you try. Whatever is in your capacity, you try to give up that much or try to do that much, then you will see how Krishna empowers you to get more and more time. If you have only 10 minutes in the day, try to give that to Krishna, try to chant the holy names. And if you do that 10 minutes, then Krishna will give you more time, more interest. But if you don't, if you keep thinking that when I get enough time, I will do bhakti, then we may never get that time. So therefore, this verse is inspiring us that just don't stick to short-term solution of fasting from the wrong things, but try to get into the habit of feasting for the right things in the right way. And a guru, a teacher, is one that inspires us, that trains us, and makes our capacity to acquire spiritual knowledge, spiritual wisdom, bit by bit, slowly, and then we reach a stage where we are not at all influenced. We are in the world, but we are not affected by the world. We are in the rain, but we have a raincoat. We have a umbrella that shields us from the rain. Wrong example for Bombay, because in Bombay, raincoats, umbrellas don't work, but otherwise. So, a step for us to grow from material consciousness to spiritual consciousness is a gradual, a path of learning and a path of engaging. Both we have to strengthen our mind, our intelligence with the right wisdom, and we have to engage our mind and senses in Krishna conscious activities. Because when we are engaging into rituals, practices, but we don't have a proper understanding what is this, then also sometimes it becomes ritualistic. आप अगरबत्ती घुमा रहे, but you don't know what is happening, or you may think this is something material or just social activity. I want to become socially religious. But when we have the proper understanding, why am I doing what am I doing, then we start to get more and more taste, more and more depth in what we are doing in the path of bhakti. So a step for that is a introductory course to the Bhagavad Gita called as Bhagavad Gita Essentials, which we do once in a month or 2 months. So the next course, Bhagavad Gita Essentials, is coming next week, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Our Alpesh Prabhu is in the back. He's standing with the registration details. So it's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday evening course for starting our journey, strengthening our journey with wisdom, And then with that, you'll also get connected to this beautiful family where you will be engaged in so many services, happy services. So please do register for the Bhagavad Gita Essentials. And if anyone has any question, one question we can take. Otherwise, now the Shayan Kirtan will start. We'll prepare our consciousness by engaging in Kirtan. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. As the Lord, no, opens his darshan at 8:50. So, any one question that anyone has about today's discussion that we had? So, from a compulsive living, we have to enter into the zone of conscious living. Right now, our life is compulsive. Many times, social media compulsive. Whatever the media influences, that's what we are getting into. But from a compulsive lifestyle, how can we enter into a conscious lifestyle? Is by having a higher goal, either materially a higher, healthier goal or a spiritual goal. With that, we have the hope to progress. And next week, again, verse number 60 will be taken for those who come regularly here. And for those who do want to take up that course, please do register with Alpesh. Thank you very much. Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki, sorry, Bhagavad Gita ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Thy Gaur Premanande.